That was China, but the repercussions of COVID-19 could yet be more deadly than the virus itself. The world is now at the brink of a hunger pandemic, and Africa is reeling from a health crisis to a food crisis now. Here's a special report.
In Africa, the rollover effects of the coronavirus pandemic have just begun to surface. Large swaths of the continent, especially the sub-Saharan region, risk slipping into a food crisis. For Africa, the coronavirus health crisis was challenging enough with the world's worst healthcare system. Now, millions of Africans will go hungry with the global food supply chain in disarray. IMF and the World Bank predictions are bleak, as the pandemic has undone decades of development. Africa can be self-sufficient, but the lockdown has put a freeze on the movement of crops, which are rotting in the fields. Demand is high, the crops are harvested, but the trucks never arrive. Here is a Nigerian rice miller explaining the situation.
We're having challenges of buying the rice now because of the lockdown. People are not moving. We don't have vehicles to go to the village. Normally we go to village markets to buy rice, but no, we don't move. We don't go out. And even the marketers, some come from Lagos to patronize me here, from Bayelsa, Port Harcourt. But because of the lockdown, they are not coming again. So we have poor markets.
Logistics firms say there is a lack of clarity and a fear of overzealous police. As a result, truck movement across Nigeria, Kenya, Togo, Ghana and Uganda has declined by 30%, according to logistics firm Kobo 360. So domestic crops and farm capacities are getting wasted.
There's no clarity around what can move around, or what trucks can move around, or what assets, or what is essential transportation. So you see many of our transporters and truck owners are scared, or because they're scared to go out and have their drivers on the road because they are worried that they're going to get held or detained because there's no clarity.
In Kenya, panic buying and government programs to distribute rice to low-income households have already depleted reserves. In East Africa, the situation is even worse as locusts destroyed crops just before the start of the pandemic. And the second wave of locusts threatening the region is said to be 20 times worse. There used to be hope that some African countries can rely on imports to feed its people. However, when it comes to rice, major suppliers including India, Vietnam and Cambodia have either reduced or banned exports. As of now, every country, rich or poor, expects food shortages and is storing grains for its own people, especially with the pandemic showing no signs of abating. Sub-Saharan Africa will suffer immensely due to these export restrictions as the region imports 40% of its rice. In short, Africa is running out of its food reserves. The lockdown has disrupted its supply chain, leaving crops to rot in the fields. Locusts have decimated crops, compounding the problem of dealing with the coronavirus pandemic. Importing food will be difficult, as the pandemic threatens not only Africa's, but the world's food security. As the doomsayers have been saying, more people could die because of hunger than the virus during the pandemic.